Okay, basically, I want to apply for a role as a customer service advisor in mortgages at Barclays, as I believe Barclays has offered for 325 years. It's offered great customer experiences to its customers in mortgages for the eligibility criteria in financial and exceptional customer service, where Barclays believes in the five core ethics of its values, which is trust, being trusted as advisor between the liaising effective communication between colleagues, senior directors, partners of Barclays, including client and senior stakeholders, include senior managers and officials, and trust integrity is in compliance and adherence with all policies of the Financial Conduct Authority (FCA) in alliance with all the relations and escalating complex health situations by understanding this situation as the process of applying for a mortgage towards purchasing new property be quite daunting. So we have to liaise effectively with the customer to ensure we meet the goals and the expectations that is needed and necessary. So and these are there are three competency questions, which in turn improve interpersonal skills, understanding the relations, developing this trusted customer bond between your clients and your officials to understand their situations and their scenarios, to understand and implement a change that is necessary, and stand customer service and as shared goals, values, and identifying their customer house needs and combining a friendly approach in strict compliance, adherence in terms of financial conduct authority, and reducing escalating risk management in terms of escalating risk drivers to reduce exposure and exploitations of customers' vulnerability whilst accessing mortgage, and so your compliance with all the Financial Conduct Authority and regulatory frameworks of Barclays to ensure exceptional customer expectations are met and adhered to. You meet so buying a house can be life changing. So we be engaging with different vulnerable cultures to understand their criteria to gain initiate some small background regarding the purchase of new property and guiding them professionally with the small simple procedure in to attain a mortgage. We need to understand their financial capacity and and implement the different policies that I need to adhere to in terms of understanding the different processes, like investment in an ISA to help to buy saver, which you initiate £1,000 or less deposit into accumulative over the years to in transparency of a £12,000 output towards purchase and deposit towards then purchasing new property and its brands, and then understanding things like Help to Buy. Help to Buy is a government selected scheme that allows individuals to select which component to buy to, basically a 5% on which you need to accumulate 5% to 10%, 20%. The minimum deposit for you to deposit on purchasing new property or old property with a 5% with the Help to Buy scheme with an equity of 20% and a 75, and to secure a 75% mortgage of a banking firm like Barclays or any other recreational financial institutional firm that offers this. And to understand your eligibility, we have to understand your credit history and your debit history, where you borrow, and your capacity of the house you purchase and from which buyer. And there are things like solicitor fees, quantitative fees, and other fees, other fees that is accumulated, like stamp duty. But now stamp duty has been eradicated from government due to a non-purchase of a scheme under £500,000, which is £500,000. So we have to engage the different processes that they will accept, and then advise them directly to a mortgage advisor or a mortgage broker, which will direct them to securing the and to help them. So the increasing the capacity of your deposit increases the opportunities of the mortgages available on your lending and credit history. So understanding your financial circumstances as every individual, and to give opportunities for individuals from students to first time buyers to move onto the property ladder in the market, which due to the economical impact of financial constraints, that it be difficult due to the eligibility to save towards, to help how they would save towards depositing the for their new house, which is for a £200,000 property you need at least 5 to 10% mortgage, which is a 20,000 like £10,000 for a 3 bedroom property. You will need at least £10,000 minimum. So to set them up, you will need to set up an ISA, which is a ISA, Help to Buy ISA. So we're meeting goals and expectations, and having this exceptional confidence in introducing them to the different schemes available, like equity loans, Help to Buy, or 50% ownership. Or if they are not selecting the scheme of Help to Buy, they would actually have to provide a minimum of 10 to 20% or exceeding more of towards the property of the new property. So in return, we help you build your career and the flexibilities. So we'll be meeting individual customer needs. So basically, with my great communication efficacy, I would communicate efficiently with them to understand the necessary requirements to ensure that they meet the mortgage that is required of them, and ensure that they and through communication, between telephony communication, we can arrange appointments where we can appoint them towards a mortgage advisor where suitable, with our exceptional customer to go above and beyond in understanding the eligibility criteria and the necessaries towards purchasing, and to ensure they move along the processes with confidence, and give them a basic summary of what are the policies of and to build successful relationships and addressing customer solutions. So when they engage effectively, we need to provide this efficacy and the professionalism that Barclays has provided for 325 years of a service towards meeting the goals and expectations of its customers, and helping and supporting local community, as Barclays believe that as inclusify a diversified work field and ensure it's a go-to bank, to ensure that we provide the exceptional products and services that they ensure they meet the expectations of the requirements that is acquired to. So demonstrating and projecting excellent efficacy in ensuring that the streamlined approach to the benefits. So okay, I may so tell me about yourself and why do you want to work for Barclays? Okay, my name's Alan Pang. I have graduated with a degree in numerical mathematical discipline at the University of Liverpool, and which I previously as a clerical assistant of Natural Breaks that support individuals with challenging behaviours and needs. As a clerical assistant, I'm responsible for maintaining the functionality of the reception, dealing with phone queries from service users, and directing the calls to various members in the department reported to the office manager and bailiff's duties. And I have to provide a little routine of my scheduled functions on providing summaries, ensuring the efficiency of the operation of the reception, and ensuring the submissions of the expenses adherence to all expense policies with service managers and office managers for reimbursement. I want to work for our customers where I have ownership for personal responsibility for instructions about risk mortgages, understanding with great interpersonal to leverage understanding criteria eligibility for mortgage, translation, transfer these to the individual department expertise that deal, and considering various complex needs, engaging effectively as purchasing, buying property to ensure the streamlined and smooth transitional, transparent process at the contact centre, address them accordingly. With regards to expertise, various divisions and departments, may we get inquiries with dissatisfied service levels I will provide assistance and work collaboratively and support colleagues and Barclays teams at the contact centre, ensure service levels maintained by distributed shared objective, providing assistance and guidance of complex non-essential to mortgage, which includes escalations of complex and de-escalations, reassure Barclays banking protocol escalation point and act with integrity to protect customers, colleagues from exploitation, disclosure confidential and sensitive according to the GDPR Data Protection Act, and to ensure encrypted message and transparent communication between investigation, resulting outcome, and possible resolutions to inquiries. And proactive and adaptable, assisting the Barclays business ability to set up, support, refer to, and then access the mortgage of analysis of criteria associated with individual customers, circumstances, and financial restrictions and conditions, in providing exceptional customer services to stakeholders, providing exceptional, restore and stay committed to providing the service, and restore faith in banking and serving products that Barclays provide. To ensure transparency and efficiency, the contact centre provide vibrant and rapid reports and services to mitigate and reduce exploitation to defamation to Barclays as a prestigious banking financial institution, suitable and improve the time taken to streamline methodology and process, implement effective procedures, approach channels given the opportunity. Tell me about this is business affirmations. Tell me about the time when you had to implement and initiate effective methodologies to improve efficiency of the organization and seek new effective ways to improve efficient in business. Okay, as a clerical assistant, responsible for the verifications and the calculations of employees and support workers' expenses get submitted on a regular basis of natural breaks. Expenses get submitted via regulations of emails and posts on which certain days these was escalated and verified manually. There were susceptibilities to errors which were mitigated, which the reimbursement and verifications, receipts and source align with the expense policies of natural breaks, on which natural breaks has certain policies that they need to submit it on before prior 2 days prior to the month and of submission at the beginning of the month, and the accumulations of the policies that the employer can only reimburse 80% of the cost of the travel and train tickets that is provided to, and reimbursement of that does not exceed 3 gross British pounds in terms of reimbursement for entertainment fees. Okay, there was certain days on which there was escalated and verified manually. The susceptibility to errors which were mitigated, in which the cost reimbursement for receipts align with their expense policies. Myself and my office manager, with the collaboration, we discussed ideas. I provided ownership on discussing with my office manager to streamline the efficiency of the expense template that allows us to efficiently process the expenses in a more streamlined manner. Myself also, which broadens for staff members. I had to be more active to continue rigorous change and organize, improve, maintain, efficient, implement new effective methods of technology, utilization of new software on which I had to devise new expense template in Excel, Microsoft, using basic mathematical procedure like logistic arguments to commute the output of the answer that was generated, from which if the person exceeded the amount that was given, then we would return the amount, which could be more adaptive to transition onto things like algorithmic procedures like Python, C++, and Java, but utilizing of Excel, tabular entry, basic mathematical tools, arguments, and outputs, which value the sum minus cost, the summation, and the expense that can be recuperated to ensure that we can efficiently check for expense errors. With encouragement and my determination to utilize my access to network and leverage the accessibilities to a wide range of resources that was available, provide basic Excel techniques, cell entry and formations of boards, include lines, wrap text and borderlines, mathematical formulation, input, output, mathematical principles, with access to the online resources and learning tools, with determination, agile learning behavior, able to absorb a familiar new context could be utilized in the formations of the expense template. Through trial and error, on which through various of teams discussions with the office manager, I was in from discussion manager with Fable rendered the final version of viable for staff members on natural breaks to access. The beneficial of this was able that individuals would be able to access this in a more streamlined efficiency for external staff members and team members of natural breaks. I'm praised by my determination and the success of expense template by CEO Chief Executive Natural Breaks Diane Hesketh, on which the business implement streamline, adapt, flexible change to improve expense system accessibilities. So improving the accessibilities of staff to reassure that we provide the most accurate amount to be recruited to reduce financial risk of exposure to the organization and could affect the organization as a whole. And when did you have to be adaptable and apprehensive to new ways of working and this is defining execute change? Okay, risk and control environment. At Barclays, we are always safeguarding individuals from exploitations to exposures of risk. So I may instigate. Can you tell me a time where you had to prevent risk and exploitation of staff members from occurring, happening by compliance or process procedures to mitigate risk in an organisation? Okay, as a customer service advisor, we engaging with customers' vulnerabilities and much act with integrity in all times of complaints or escalation procedure and process, and may reimburse a time when, as a clerical assistant at Natural Breaks that supports individuals with vulnerabilities, I was the first point of contact. There was an external member who rang about information in regards to the organisation. It was important for compliance of regulation known as General Data Protection Regulation Act. It was accepted in 2018 to protect and safeguard vulnerabilities from third members' access to data entry. As a cloud assistant, I instigated it's not to disclose sensitive information which can breach confidentiality of these are personal addresses, names, contact details, locations, could exploit the organizations to susceptible to vulnerabilities. As a clerical assistant, I instigated to the exterior member it was important not to disclose such sensitive information to the third party members on which these escalation procedures and risk drivers mitigate potential harm either to staff members. The caller became quite aggressive, on which with confidence and composure I had to reiterate accordance that these details and his dissatisfaction with the outcome of which engaged effectively with my office manager or senior member. He insisted on directly speaking to the high authority which was unavailable, which was my service managers, who was in confidential and important meetings with my CEOs and board of directors. With adaptive nature and terminally on agility, persuade and convince, we will always distribute and provide data, and due to breach of confidence, he failed to verify from a legal company and legitimate organisation, i.e. MENCAP, Local Solutions or People First. For example, we have to verify because we are an organisation that supports individuals we have to reduce the exposure risk to this organisation to verify the contact in terms of code, the number they work for, the verification of ID of a legal and legitimate organisation. For example, MENCAP, Local Solutions and People First. I'd ensure as an organisation that it was important to support and protect vulnerabilities. I mentioned there was a called the General Data Protection Act had to apply to prohibit the disclosure sensitive which contact was logged away and not viable and visible to the reception area. I reinstated on the reasons which I'd formed compromise and mitigated the disclosure of such sensitive information to third parties, which was eventually he found me. I did the right thing. They say he rang up to confirm his identity details. On which promoted I was sincerely apologetic that we had to buy it and not provide information to third parties who were not of the organisation. These detailed incident risk was discussed with my office manager. We discussed initiatives to protect the arms of the organisation in the future. Interior sensitive information was locked in documentations which was not viable access to the external party members or visitors of the organisation. That was include address labels and sensitive information of service users and documentations which was known as professional boundaries by one of our team coordinators. Individual associated business partners workers to protect support workers on a daily basis. As Barclays needs to always adhere and provide exceptional customer service to its customers. Can you give a time when you gave exemplary customer service to individuals from experience? As a customer, interactions forms the pivot to everything we provide at Barclays. As a customer, engage effectively, provide exemplary, astounding customer service to clients, stakeholders, and Barclays customers since engaging in compliant and complex queries with DDL vulnerabilities. I would always greet individuals that end with hostility and warmth with priceless natural waste facility with great hostility. I may remember a particular time with an individual person, always bubbly. There was a time when they could not communicate due to being on the spectrum, which she communicated pitch and tone of her voice. She entered a radiating smile that made others feel worth and security, which always welcomed her with open arms. Sometimes it would always be nice and pleasant with the support, guidance from female accomplice. I remember there was a time when she had an emotional meltdown as individuals with sensory, auditory, sensory needs and stimulating exterior environments caused the behaviour in a vulnerable way. With my adaptive communication, remain composed whilst in reception since we have locked doors for safety. She seemed emotional, which I greeted her and opened the door, allowed two people in. The commitment, even though she could not communicate, her body. Even individuals may not be able to communicate through their body language, and their tone and pitch of their voice can defy how we can be adaptable and flexible in our communication styles to provide this customer extra. To go on above and beyond is what Barclays required to stewardship with open arms provide. I was praised by the office manager for my time and commitment and ensure her stay. Organisation support from the business go above beyond protect and provide extra motives towards ensuring that they're welcome and feel safe in a vulnerable environment. Even the individual could not communicate, but I felt from the heart that with her body man shows everything. Customer interaction satisfied is a part of achievement which I'm still proud of, which makes me happy seeing other people happy. I'm happy. So going above and beyond, even though like as at Barclays, individuals might be having a hardship in accessing the mortgages, and it might have a bit of resistance in terms of tension between you and can make them quite unhappy due to the circumstances. So we have to be transparent in ensuring them that they're not exploited in the way of their vulnerabilities of their financial circumstances, to remain professional at all times. Can you illustrate a sample where you demonstrate the ability to work in a collaborative manner? Whilst at Natural Breaks, which in organisation supports individuals with learning vulnerabilities, we had compliance inspection for the CQC, Credit Qualities Commissions, that session notes, and which define compliance procedures, and which session notes are submitted gives account of the activities taken by service users. I encountered a challenge of dispersing my workload and had to ensure the session notes get signed off prior to the Care Qualities Commission's inspection from external board members to provide further assistance with help guidance of staff members, which session notes have to be assigned in folders. So Natural Breaks I was responsible for assigning the folders as the team coordinators had the responsibilities to sign them off to the Pacific team coordinators. There was the time the community session notes which the colleague at Natural Breaks assisted in sorting the dates and names the respective place in relevant team coordinated folders. We signed off companionship and contributions. Individual community quantity amount was sorted and passed. Outcome result: there was challenge when working collaborative, sharing ideas during influence pressurized environments. So objective community session notes could be sorted and signed in place time for inspections by the senior managers. Natural Breaks that regulations of GDPR during data there was a strict deadline and which session notes had to be sorted out before pre-inspection from external boards. As a customer, it's important and vital to ensure the process initial phase, which includes working with a colleague through trust and integrity in assisting individuals ensure duty and routines and goals can be exceeded. Stewardship courtesy, going above beyond of the vital morals for your customers, staff members, and community society. Taking responsibilities and ownership, ensure met with great collaborative nature, liaising with higher authorities and team members, which includes senior officials, which include my team coordinators and service managers. Then exceeds can assign to appropriate mortgages based on their eligibility criteria. These are qualities of interpersonal skills and technical skills. Technical skills is developing my technical skills of improving the quality of software, understanding software, different software packages, and being streamlined and adaptable. Provide ownership in understanding our weaknesses, not our weaknesses of everybody has criticisms and negative feedback, and being able to precisely learn from our ownership and learning from our problems to improve by navigating the external resources, liaising and discussing these information with senior managers or senior care managers, business managers, or other officials like mortgage advisors, to work with different departments in our crowd to maintain the professional equity that is etiquette that is adhered to, adherence to all compliance or regulatory framework to reduce GDPR exploitations, the third party to protect and safeguard contact from financial external access and ability, to ensure that we always adhere to the 5 ethos, to ensure it's the go-to bank of integrity, service, stewardship, trust, and the loyalty between your customers, and providing the exceptional products and services and to ensure the streamlined efficiency, to be more adaptive in technical capabilities in terms of software and different software packages, training and mentoring, cultivating and nurturing talents to ensure to support colleagues on a basis to exceed and meet SLA agreements, to deal with complex inquiries that are needed to be a successful senior customer service advisor at Barclays. Thank you.